Okay, hello Cloud Gurus, and welcome to this lecture, where we're going to take a look at how data makes its way from a client of our system to Google's network. Now, when we think about how to move data between our client's machines and Google's network, people don't connect directly to Google's network, they connect to the internet. So how can we get data from them to us and from us to them most efficiently? This is where the VPC routing tier comes in. Now, I'm actually really glad that Google has released a standard routing tier for their networking functionality, but not because I think you should use it. It's because when they released the standard networking tier, they gave us this awesome, easy to understand graphic showing why the premium tier is so very much better. This graphic shows the difference between normal routing, like you would get at any other cloud provider, and Google's premium networking, where the routing happens mostly on Google's network, so they can control it and make sure it's really fast. Now, some of the terms that you'll see listed on this animation here are hot potato and cold potato. Hot potato routing always tries to make it someone else's problem. Cold potato routing is the opposite. Cold potato routing says, I can handle this. I can take it much closer to where it's supposed to go so that it'll be well cared for along the way. Remember how I said that in routing, you can't see the entire picture? You have to make local decisions along the way? Well, one of the awesome things about Google's network is that because they control such a vast area of connection, they can make some really intelligent decisions about how to get data across that span really quickly. So when the end user is making a connection, if Google's network says, hey, give it here and I'll take it the rest of the way, the total exposure of that data to the internet is very small, and the travel across Google's network is more predictable. But there's a lot more to it than just the connection speed, though. A fundamental difference between the standard routing and the premium routing is that the standard routing already needs to know where the data is supposed to go in the world before it gets to Google's network. Let's say you're running a website and your users are connecting from all over the world. If your website is hosted in California, they have to send their data across the world to California, where it will then get to your web server. But if you're hosting it on Google's network with premium routing, then when the request gets to Google's point of presence, it can decide whether California is the right place to send it or whether another place might be better. You could run one copy of your site in California, another copy in London, and yet another copy in, say, Tokyo. And then, depending on where the user's located, they could be directed to whichever copy is closest to them. But now we're really talking about getting data to the right resource. So for that, I'll see you in the next lecture.